Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Emery and welcome back to another video. And welcome back to another tier list video. So it's been a hot minute since I've done a tier list video. I think the last tier list video I did was ranking all of the Mortal Kombat guest characters and all of the NetherRealm Mortal Kombat games, which that was practically I'd say 3-4 months ago. So it's been a long time since I've done a tier list video, but I'm back with another one. And today I will be ranking all of the Resident Evil Remake games, including Resident Evil Biohazard and Resident Evil 8. So yeah, I'll be ranking all of the Resident Evil Remake games. And yeah, I'm really excited to rank these. But before we hop right into it, be sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I'm on the road to 10 subscribers. I'm super close. If you could do your boy a favor and subscribe, that will really help me out. And be sure to click that notification bell so you stay up to date every time I make a brand new video. Without further delay, let's get right into ranking. So the first remake, the first remake game we have is Resident Evil 2 remake, released in 2019. So, ooh, this game is really good. It's really good. A lot of people consider this one of the, if not one of the best Resident Evil games, and I can see why. It deserves the title for the best Resident Evil game for a damn good reason. For one, it's actually terrifying. Like, it's really scary. I do not recommend playing this at dark. It's also really challenging and hard if you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you never played a Resident Evil game, you're gonna have quite difficulty figuring this out. And I've played a lot of Resident Evil 3, and I'm so used to the docking mechanic with Jill Valentine and Carlos. Not having that dock mechanic with Leon and Resident Evil 2, it makes the game feel harder in a good way. It's challenging, but in a good way. Resident Evil horror survival games are supposed to be really hard and challenging. I feel like a lot of horror survival games have kind of shied away from the challenging and the games have kind of become more easy and more action packed. But Resident Evil 2 really takes the franchise back into a very scary manner, and I gotta respect it for that. I definitely think probably the most scariest moments in this game is when Mr. X, the tyrant, is chasing you down the hallways of the RPD police station. I think it's really scary, and this game really does a great job of making the game feel claustrophobic and really makes you feel isolated. The only two other characters that help you out throughout the game, or I guess you could say three, is Ada Wong and Claire Redfield and Martin. But Martin turns into a zombie pretty early on in the game, so you're only left with Claire Redfield and Ada Wong, the only two characters that are not zombies that help you out, and they're not even really in the game that much. Claire has, I think, maybe 10 to 12 minutes of screen time throughout the game. Ada is pretty helpful, but you're mostly left off to do stuff on your own, making this game feel really scary. So, in my opinion, I'll have to put Resident Evil 2, and I'll have to put this in amazing. I was iffy on putting it in pretty solid, because I do wish there was a little bit more, I do wish there was a little bit more content, but that's a small nitpick. That's a small nitpick that I can't really criticize it for that. It's honestly amazing. It should stay in amazing, and it's probably one of my favorite Resident Evil games. So yeah, next up we have Resident Evil 3. So this game, so I actually really like this game, but I know a lot of people really hate it. It's either Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4. The Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 remake are always number 1, and that just leaves Resident Evil 3 to be number 2 or number 3. A lot of people really do not like this game. I actually like it. I found it very fun. Granted, I did think it was a little short, and I did think some sections of the game were where it kind of took the pacing out of the game. I thought some parts of the game really didn't need to be there, and I definitely thought the enemy types in Resident Evil 3 were way more annoying than Resident Evil 2, but that's just me. I thought Nemesis was awesome. Granted, a lot of people have a problem with Nemesis in this game. I don't really have a problem with him. I thought he was really cool. But again, this is my opinion. So guys, if you disagree with me, please let me know down in the comments below why you disagree with me. And don't worry, I won't hate your opinion. It's just all opinions at the end of the day. In my opinion, I actually think Resident Evil 3 is a good game. But I'm not going to put it in amazing, because there are some problems with it. So I'll put it in pretty solid. I think it is good. but I don't think it's amazing. Like, I do think there are some problems, and there's quite a few nitpicks that I could criticize about this game, but it's pretty solid for the most part. Next up, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is just such an easy amazing, and it's going in the front of amazing. Like, I feel like if I put this game below amazing, people would call me crazy, and for good reason. This game is probably the best video game we've gotten in the past year. This game just, I remember when I played it, this game just blew my mind. I'm a big fan of the original. Like, I remember playing the original back on I remember when I went to my friend's house, he had the original PlayStation, and I remember me and him played on it, and he had Resident Evil 4, I remember playing. It blew my mind. And I remember when I was really excited to get the remake for my Series X, and I remember playing it, putting it in, and just being mind blown throughout the entire game. They kept a lot of stuff in from the original, and even included new stuff that weren't even in the original, but they just put new stuff in it. It wasn't really necessary, but it was all amazing. All the boss fights were awesome. The game felt scary and terrifying. There's a bunch of new mechanics that you can mess around with. Like, the game just feels so freaking amazing. I'd say the only nitpick I have, maybe that one boss fight with the fish, that you're like throwing harpoons at the fish in the water. I do think that boss fight is a little lackluster. I prefer that boss fight in the original, but that's such a small nitpick, and it's just mainly a boss fight, and just how it's designed, I'm not a fan of it. But besides that, this game's amazing. It's a 10 out of 10. I really cannot make any nitpick on this game. Everything about this game is amazing. Literally everything. So it's really hard to nitpick. You have to, if someone really hates Resident Evil, if you really hate Resident Evil 4, you have to make a really, really good reason why you hate this game. Because there's really nothing to hate about this game. This game is amazing. The characters are likable. The game is terrifying. The bosses are all amazing, and if not better than from the original. There's everything that was in the original is done even better in the remake, and there was some stuff that weren't even in the original that was not necessary to put in the remake, but it was still great nonetheless. So yeah, this game's a 10 out of 10. I've been lingering on Resident Evil 4 for a while now. It's the best game, no questions asked. Next up, we have Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. This game is also amazing. I don't think it's as good as Resident Evil 2, but I still think it is really good. So, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, this game was released in 2017, and it's pretty fucking terrifying. Like, it's scary. It's really scary, especially when you're playing as Ethan, and you have when you're confronting Mia, when Mia is like turning into a zombie. Like, that shit scared the hell out of me. Like, when Mia's turning into a zombie, holy shit, that scared the hell out of me. And when the entire family is casing you, oh my god. I will admit, though, there are some stuff I don't like about it. Like, I thought the final boss was kind of disappointing. Eve, the main girl that was controlling, like, the family, she was behind everything, Eve. And then she turns to this, like mushy, like, this blob of mush. I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of the final boss. I thought it was very disappointing. And I thought at times the game looked a little like, I don't know if it was just me, but no one plays with motion blur. Literally no one. But I feel like I remember specifically going to the settings and taking off motion blur, and I remember when I was playing, I saw some motion blur on my game. I don't know if that was just my game, or if there's, like, the graphics don't look the best. The graphics look great, don't get me wrong, but at times I feel like the graphics looked kind of janky, and I thought the final boss was really disappointing. But other than that, I think this game is terrifying. I thought it had a great story, and I thought this was definitely a really good game to bring Resident Evil back to the scary section. Because before this game, Resident Evil was really not that scary. It became more of an action-packed game. But Resident Evil 7 really took the game back into the scary genre. And I really like Biohazard. I think it's a good game. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think it's one of the best Resident Evil games. But there are some stuff I have a problem with. But all in all, I think it's really, really good. And finally, we have the sequel to Ethan's adventure of the scary monsters. We have Resident Evil 8 Village. This game, so I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I just did not like this game. I thought it was a big snore. I literally fell asleep half through this game. Like, halfway when I played through this game, I literally fell asleep. Literally, I'm not shitting you, I fell asleep. This game is just such a snore. Now, there's some stuff I do like about it. Like, I thought Mother Miranda's family was really interesting. I really liked Heisenberg. I thought he was a really cool character. I really liked Moreau, Salvatore Moreau. I thought he was absolutely disgusting and really interesting. And you have Lady D. You have the Duke. The Duke is really funny, and I really like a lot of his interactions with Ethan. Ethan is kind of a snore. He's not really that interesting, but I thought he had some pretty cool moments with him and Chris. The ending is all right. I will say though, there is one moment in this game that scared the shit out of me. It's the part where when you're chasing down the girl that controls the doll. I forgot her name, but you're going through her house, and as you're walking through the house, you come across this like baby monster. It's so pants down scary. It's so fucking terrifying. And like when the baby's like making so much like baby noises and crying in the hallways as you're hiding under the bed, holy shit! I literally felt like shit was rolling down my butt. I literally felt like shit was rolling down my ass. I was so scared. It was so terrifying and so well done. But besides that, the game really wasn't that scary. Like I thought a lot of the bosses were kind of a snore. I thought some of the characters could have been written better. Besides Heisenberg and Lady D, I thought the rest of the characters were kind of mediocre. I did like Salvatore Moreau. I thought he was really interesting. Granted, he was really disgusting, and you felt kind of bad for him. But I still, all in all, found him a very interesting character. Salvatore Moreau, Lady D, and Heisenberg were probably like the only three characters I sort of liked. And sometimes I liked Ethan, but besides that, Resident Evil 8's not for me. But guys, let me know down in the comments below what your favorite Resident Evil game is. My favorite's by far Resident Evil 4. It's the best Resident Evil game we've gotten in the past decade. And yeah, I'm really curious to know guys to know what your favorite Resident Evil game is. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about my tier list and what your favorite Resident Evil game is. And that's gonna have to wrap up the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see all you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.